So the Packers just made multiple roster moves that we need to discuss. Here it came out from Rob Demovsky on X, who shares Packers roster moves. Wide receiver Will Shepherd signed from the practice squad. Linebacker Jamon Johnson. Defensive back Jalen Simpson elevated from the practice squad. Kicker Lucas Havrisik released. And this was all reported on Packers.com. Rob Demovsky shares it here. And so I want to go through each of these different moves. First off, let's talk about Lucas Havrisik being released. Earlier in the season, there was a period of time where there was lots of debate regarding the Packers kicker situation. Brandon McManus, you have Havrisik come in and break the Packers record when it came to longest field goal in Packers history at 61 yards. And so when you see Lucas Havrisik come in and have that type of success, and then you have McManus missing kicks, dealing with an injury, there were a lot of people who were wanting to see more of Lucas Havrisik. And throughout the entire time, it sounded like the Packers never really lost that confidence in Brandon McManus. And now with their decision here to full-on release Havrisik, they clearly are showing their trust and their belief in Brandon McManus as a kicker. And for me personally, I think that early in the season, there's a couple kicks that were blocked, which I don't think is McManus' fault. And then you have those games where he's dealing with an injury, a quad injury. And so when a guy who's been relatively consistent throughout his career goes through a rough stretch of games, it looks now like he is a little bit healthier, and the Packers clearly have a lot of confidence in him if they're ready to move on from Havrisik. And so I have no issue with this. I think that you paid McManus in the offseason a 3-year, $15 million deal because you saw what he did last year. He's a veteran player who has a lot of experience. And Havrisik did play really well in his first few games. There's no doubt about that. His first 2 games, he goes 6 for 6 on extra points. He goes 4 for 4 on field goals. And then in his third game against the Giants in Week 11, he goes 1 for 3 on extra points. Now, part of that I do think was the weather. Very windy. Hard to blame him, but still, he struggled a little bit there. And this past week, McManus comes back against Minnesota, goes 2 for 2 on extra points, and 3 for 3 on field goals. And so the Packers are sticking with McManus, which I think is the right decision based on just how much experience he has here in the NFL. And looking at, just playoff time, whenever that comes around, I'd rather stick with a guy who has a lot of experience during his NFL career. Now to Will Shepherd, who was signed from the practice squad. Will Shepherd was signed by the Packers back in July. He's been on the Packers practice squad this season. And I do think that he had a few nice plays back in the preseason. For his total stat line, he had 3 receptions for 23 yards and a touchdown in the preseason. But looking at this one, it does make you wonder, the Packers, when it comes to their injuries at receiver, they're clearly adding Shepherd for a reason. And Tom Silverstein added on X, which I think makes a lot of sense. He said, might mean no Matthew Golden and Savion Williams. That's what he says there about the receivers. And if we look back to yesterday's injury report, which there will be a new one coming out soon, which I'll share on this channel in the next few hours. But the past 2 days, Matthew Golden has been limited, and Savion Williams has not participated in the past 2 days. And so it could be that maybe one or either of those guys, as Tom Silverstein notes, could potentially miss time. And so Shepherd comes in to add some more depth there. And then Jamon Johnson, who as well as Jalen Simpson is getting elevated from the practice squad. Johnson, linebacker, 2025 UDFA, signed by the Packers, played college football at Georgia and Kentucky. He was also elevated last week, although he didn't play any snaps last week, according to PFF. But I wonder here if Quay Walker is going to be able to play this week, or if he may miss time once again if the Packers are adding a linebacker. Who knows? We'll see there with the final injury report soon. And then finally, Jalen Simpson, defensive back. He was originally signed by the Packers back in August. He was the Colts 2024 fifth-round pick. And so we'll keep an eye on who is playing, who is not playing later this afternoon when the official report comes out. And I will be out in the next few hours with a preview of this Packers-Lions game, which is going to be a massive game on Thanksgiving. And if you guys don't watch any more videos until Thanksgiving, hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Should be a fun one. I'll also be out with a reaction video right when the game ends. So make sure you have the post notifications turned on so you don't miss that. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.